Welcome back, friends. This is episode 23 of our Glitch in the Matrix stories. We've got some great stories coming up, but before that, I want to say that if it's your first time here and you like Glitch in the Matrix stories and other unusual tales, well, you have found the right channel, because that's what we do several times a week. I'm very glad you found us, and if you can subscribe, it'd be great because we're a brand new channel, and it helps a lot. You can still unsubscribe later if you change your mind. No hard feelings. In any case, dear returning glitch connoisseurs or new listeners, thank you for being here. You're the best. Now, the stories. First glitch. I've always been fascinated by Glitch in the Matrix stories, but I never really believed in them until something freaky happened to me. I had to share it here because maybe you fine people can help me figure this out. So I live in a rural area and have a large patch of woods right behind my house. It's not some Blair Witch type of forest. Think more gentle woodland stroll. I've walked through this area countless times since I was a kid. It's a straightforward trek, so familiar that I could probably navigate it blindfolded. But a few days ago, things got weird. I was out walking, pondering life and the universe, when I heard this deep, intermittent hum. It wasn't natural. The sound was too rhythmic, like a heartbeat echoing through metal. Intrigued, and maybe a little reckless, I decided to follow it. Here's where it gets real strange. Nestled between some trees and a clearing was this massive metal trapdoor, circular, about 2 meters in radius, and it had this bizarre triangular handle, almost like an otherworldly version of the Triforce from Zelda. Now let me be clear, I know these woods, and I've been in this clearing countless times. This door was not there before. Plus it looked brand spanking new. No rust, no dirt, nothing. And trust me, if someone had been doing construction or excavation here, I would have heard it. My house is not far from this spot. The hum seemed to be emanating from the trapdoor itself. I could even feel a slight vibration when I put my hand on it right as the hum sounded. And get this. Every time the hum started, I felt a bit nauseous, like my entire body was retuned to a different frequency. Curiosity trumped caution, so I decided to knock on it to gauge how thick this thing was. The knock resounded with a low, haunting echo that seemed to reverberate far deeper than the door's physical dimensions, but then, something knocked back. The entire door shook, vibrating with the same resonance. It was like a subwoofer cranked up to 11. Screw curiosity. I noped out of there as fast as my legs would carry me. I called my friend John, told him the story, and persuaded him to go back there with me. But when we got there, the door was gone. Gone. In its place was a barren circle of compacted dirt, devoid of any grass or leaves, as if nothing had ever been there. So yeah, that's my glitch. I have no logical explanation, but I'm sure as hell not going back into those woods alone. Ever experienced something similar? Let's talk because I need to know I'm not the only one experiencing these anomalies. Next glitch. 8 years ago, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment by myself with 2 cats. I had a girlfriend, who I will name Elsa for this story, who lived 45 minutes away on her college campus. Most weekends she would drive into town and stay at my place until she had class again on Monday. We did regular things, as we didn't get to see much of each other. We liked to spend time alone together, watching movies, playing games, or the like. Please keep in mind that neither of us were drug or alcohol users, as I have a good job I can't risk losing, and she just simply never cared for intoxicants. Nor were either of us on any medication. So here's the scene. It's Saturday night, 11 p.m. Elsa and I are sitting on the couch, watching a movie. I can't remember which. We are dressed, sober and alert, as we slept in that morning and had plenty of sleep. We are chatting, laughing, talking. The TV is illuminating our immediate area, and I kept the light on in the kitchen to provide some ambient light for the living room as well. My cats are asleep in their favorite chair. All is well. Everybody is safe and comfortable. Suddenly, without any kind of warning or inkling, the jump, as I have come to call it, happened. You know when you're watching dialogue in a movie and they're using 2 cameras to film? When they switch from camera to capture the one speaking, it is seamless, with no clipping, interruption, fading, or transition effects. It was that sudden. We were having a good time together in the living room when in an instant I found myself sitting on the foot of my bed, clothes removed, in the dark. For about 1/2 of a second, a million thoughts entered my mind. Had something fallen off the wall and hit my head? Did I have a seizure? Was I dreaming the whole time? Where is Elsa? Then the scary part. I turned to my right, and Elsa is also sitting on the foot of the bed next to me, clothes removed. Her eyes are the size of golf balls and she's trembling. I realize I am as well. I try to speak and ask her if something happened, but I'm so frightened. I only stutter. After looking around the room and realizing we are alive, she managed to ask me what happened. I didn't want to answer in case it was just me, and I didn't want to come off as nuts. I just looked at her. After a pause, she started asking me again if I had turned off the lights, or removed our clothes, or if I knew what was going on. I didn't. Neither of us had experienced grogginess or confusion before the event. Furthermore, we didn't experience any sensations other than fear and confusion after it. No aches or pains. No bumps, bruises, or cuts. I reached for my phone to call my mom and see if a doctor would be appropriate. I noticed that it is not 11 p.m. anymore. Now it's 3 a.m. In that sudden instant, that instantaneous change of scene, 4 hours had passed. Everything in the house had been turned off, and we had been stripped. We went to the ER as my mom's fear was a gas leak. No signs of toxins or injury were found on either of us. Elsa made an appointment for a CAT scan, which also came back as expected. I explored possibilities like a gas leak, poisoned consumer goods like our soda or fast food, neurological malfunctions, and more. But the one thing that always bothered me was the fact that Elsa and I lost and acquired the time at the exact same instance 4 hours apart. Neither of us witnessed anything that the other didn't, and there were no lingering effects. For weeks I kept bringing it up with her, just hoping one of us would remember something. I browsed forums from all types of sites searching for answers. Every time I brought it up, Elsa would get scared at the memory and beg me to just let it go. I couldn't. I'm no writer, so I'm sure I left some things out that would have been helpful in understanding the magnitude and surrealism of this event and how it affected Elsa and I. Please, if you've read this much, and you have a question, clarification, or even a theory, I've been waiting 8 years to hear it. Somebody, tell me what happened to me. Next glitch. There's this riverside spot just outside the city, my slice of paradise. The perfect place to get away from stress and noise and just breathe. It's usually pretty quiet and the view is top tier. This particular afternoon was cloudy, which just added to the serene atmosphere. A few birds here and there, the distant murmur of the city, and the constant lullaby of flowing water. Perfection. As I was lost in thought, something caught my eye. A bright yellow object, definitely out of place, was floating against the current. Huh? As it neared, I recognized it. A simple plastic yellow bucket, much like the ones kids use at the beach. Now, I'm no hydrologist, but I've spent enough time near this river to know that things don't just float against the current, not without some kind of force pushing it. Confused, I continued watching, expecting it to get pulled back by the current at any moment. But nope, it carried on its merry upstream journey. I was about to chalk it up to some weird river dynamics when an identical yellow bucket appeared further upstream, heading towards the first one. They aligned perfectly, like two magnets attracting each other. You'd expect a collision, right? Nope. The two buckets met, but instead of bumping into each other, they kind of merged, fused. I don't know how to describe it. They simply became one bucket. Then, the now singular bucket started floating downstream, passing by me again. I was left there, mouth agape, trying to comprehend what I just saw. I waited for another hour or so, half expecting to see more mysterious bucket phenomena, but nothing. Just the usual flow of the river, and the occasional leaf floating downstream. I don't know what sort of glitch I witnessed, or if there's some perfectly logical explanation for it. Parallel universe bucket, a tear in space-time. Whatever it was, I felt like I was in some real-life version of the Matrix. So here I am, sharing my story with y'all. Can anyone make sense of it? I'll take any explanation at this point. Next glitch. I'm a 72-year-old Russian man, retired, and have lived in the same house near a military base in Germany for over 40 years. Before you jump to conclusions, no, I'm not spying on the base or anything. I'm just an amateur artist who moved to Germany a long time ago to be with the love of his life. Every other day I head to the local park, sit on my favorite bench, and sketch whatever catches my fancy. People, the trees, sometimes even the base. Over the years, I've gotten to know some of the folks who work at the base, and life has been pretty mundane and predictable, to be honest. But a few nights ago, things turned a lot less mundane and predictable. I was jolted awake by this thunderous noise. It sounded like an explosion, but there was something more to it. Something electronic. Heart pounding, I stumbled over to my window to check if everything was okay at the base. I've seen drills and practices before, but nothing prepared me for what I saw. I am not completely at ease writing this, but I have not much to lose. So there you go. Where the base once stood was a massive orange cube. Yes, a big orange cube. I'm talking absolutely gigantic. The ambient glow from the streetlights and the moon made its sharp edges and flat surfaces stand out in stark contrast to the night. It was as if someone had taken a colossal box and just dropped it right on top of the base. Panicking, but also amazed, I grabbed my sketch pad and pencil. If this was some top-secret military project, I wanted proof. I quickly sketched the cube and the surroundings, and scribbled down the cube's color and estimated size based on what I could see from my window. Then, it's all a bit hazy. Next thing I remember, I'm waking up in my bed, sheets tangled around me. I rushed to the window, expecting to see that massive cube. But no, everything was normal. The base was just the base. I almost thought it was a wild dream, but then I spotted my sketch pad. I opened it, ready to see my drawing of the cube, but it wasn't there. Instead, there was just a regular drawing of the base. Yet beside it, my notes about the cube size were scrawled in my hurried handwriting. So now I'm left wondering, was this some kind of glitch in reality? I'd like to think I'm pretty sharp for a septuagenarian, but this is making me doubt everything. Maybe I'm just losing it. Next glitch. Grab your popcorn, or whatever you snack on when deep diving into internet mysteries. because boy, do I have a tale for you. I'm a junior at a pretty typical university, living in a house with my two amazing roommates, Amy and Carla. We've had our share of odd experiences, like that time Amy accidentally dyed her hair green instead of brown. Long story, but nothing quite glitchy. Until now. A few weeks back, I walked into the kitchen and saw Carla making some coffee. We chatted about a professor we both disliked and shared some laughs. Normal stuff. Then I sat down on the couch, ready to doom scroll on my phone, but realized it needed to be charged. But when I went upstairs, Carla was in her room studying. I was confused as she couldn't have gone upstairs without walking past me. "Weren't you just downstairs?" I asked. She gave me a puzzled look and told me she had been in her room for the past hour. All right. Maybe stress was getting to me, or maybe I just fell asleep on the couch without realizing it. But then it happened again. Amy was sitting in the garden, and we talked about a movie we wanted to see. 10 minutes later, I found the real Amy in the bathroom, having just come out of the shower. I almost had a heart attack. But there's more. People on campus started approaching me, mentioning conversations or interactions we had that I didn't remember. They claimed to have seen me in places I hadn't been. Once, someone swore they saw me at a campus party when I was in fact curled up in my bed watching reruns of The Office. Now all these incidents could have been brushed off, but there's a twist. A lot of doppelganger stories seem to imply they are evil, but no one has ever said anything negative about my doppelganger or my roommates. In fact, some people seem to prefer the other me. It's gotten to the point where I'm questioning if I'm the lesser version. I mean, is the universe trying to replace us with upgraded versions? I'm lost, a bit scared, and weirdly envious of my own double. Has anyone experienced this? Any advice on handling your own doppelganger? Or theories on why they might be here? In the fabric of reality, a stitch goes astray. Glitches in the matrix hinting a different way. Not mere errors to dismiss or to fear, but messages from beyond drawing us near. They challenge perception, defy what we know, urging us to question, to learn, and to grow. A nudge from the universe, subtle and sly, whispering secrets of the how and the why. Each glitch, a lesson, a call to reflect, to examine our paths, our lives to inspect. For in these odd moments where realities twist, lies a chance to evolve too precious to resist. If you're still here, thank you so much. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, or maybe leave a comment. Stay safe and see you next time then.